Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 29th.
There we go.
My name's Adam. I'm here with my good friend Logan.
Hello.
And yeah, we're here to talk about some geeky news like we always do. So, before we get started, man, how was your week?
Crazy. Work has just been insane. Like I haven't.
Yeah.
I did manage to finish off the DMC Definitive Edition.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of all I've been playing, and it's one that doesn't take long to play through, and the fact that that's all I've done this week, that'll tell you how much time I've had.
Oh yeah, Devil May Cry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, I saw you on PlayStation a few times playing that. I forgot what else I saw you playing, but yeah, I saw you playing that. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, man. Yeah, it's been crazy for me too. I've been in like this training thing at work, so it's like my hours are cut. It sucked the last few weeks, but now starting next week I'm gonna be super busy. Got all my hours back, got my overtime approved. I'm golden. But yeah, man, I've just been working and just hanging out, helping out, doing some family stuff like my grandparents. I had to finally finish with their lawn. It's been all the sod's been placed. Putting some mulch down, but yeah, just kind of helping family the last week or so. And yeah, man. So yeah, just actually started playing some games I haven't played in a while. Read some comics that were kind of on my to-do list, and yeah, just really doing that. But we'll get all that into a little bit. I didn't see any movies that I can think of since we last talked. But yeah, man, so let's get into the movies.
Okay.
You want to take the first one?
Yeah, sure. It's appropriate.
Yep.
The next, well, and this is the thing. Warner Brothers is restarting their whole idea of remaking Logan's Run. They talked about this in 2010, I want to say.
Okay.
Like there were plans back then, and then I don't know, it just kind of fell apart. But they're putting those plans back on track. Simon Kinberg, who's a producer, really over at Fox. He's got producing credits on Apocalypse, on Deadpool, and on Fantastic Four.
Okay.
He's coming over to write it. So okay, that'll be horrifying.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I never saw the original. I mean, I've seen probably bits and pieces.
It was if I remember right, it was 76, maybe.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, people talk about it like it's an 80s film, but I'm pretty sure it was actually a late 70s film. It's one of those, like, it was kind of a precursor to a lot of the 80s sci-fi.
Yeah.
But,
it was 76.
Yeah, there we go. But I mean, it was an interesting concept, and I don't know, like, I haven't seen it recently, so I don't know how well it's been 10 years, I think, since I've seen it. So I don't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know how well it holds now, but I mean, it was an interesting concept, and I know they adapted it from. Oh, was this? I want to say this was another Philip K. Dick story, but I may be wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. See, I saw it maybe as a kid, bits and pieces, but I don't remember much of it. I understand spoofs like in Family Guy when I see it.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
But so there's that, and we'll get to some more remake news later. This other news was just kind of announced, and I'm taking a minute on that yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I see we got a Jurassic Park 2 sequel announced for June 22nd with Colin Trevorrow. How do you say that?
Trevorrow.
Trevorrow, yeah. And Derek Connolly to return as writers. Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard to return as well. So, I mean,
2018, planning down the road.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's probably Universal's that and the Fast and Furious series is probably their two biggest franchises.
Well, and I mean, hey, Jurassic World is the third highest grossing movie ever now.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, let's get a crossover. No, I'm just kidding. Dominic Toretto.
Yeah, jeez.
Imagine that. take him out with cars.
Yeah, Fast T-Rex and Furious, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got Chris Pratt with the Raptor pack. He's got to team up with Toretto. You got The Rock popping in. Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, sadly, this is true.
Oh yeah. About to get a Men in Black and 21st Jump Street.
I'm telling you, like, that's the weirdest. But the more you look at it, the more you think, you know what? Both of those are just goofy enough that would work.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I'd absolutely see that when it comes out, because you don't get weird stuff like that anymore. No one really takes that big of risks.
No, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah, exactly. And like you just said, it'd be a risk, but at the same time, it's like it would work. Like, people would see that and they'd be okay with it as long as it was funny. You know?
Yeah.
And that's, let me bring this up real fast. I've been shocked, and this actually makes me want to see the film. The new Vacation film has gotten really good reviews.
I know, I saw that today, and I was caught so off guard by that.
Yeah. Well, what happened? I saw the Red Band trailer, and I was like, okay, I needed to see this, because this looked funny. There was this whole scene. I like how they changed it up. And this isn't spoiler or anything. This is in the Red Band trailer. The little brother is like a bully to the older brother. And that never happens in films. It's usually the opposite.
Right.
Like in Home Alone and stuff, where the little brother is like slaps him. He's like, stop saying stupid stuff. And I thought, wow, that's funny as hell. And that kind of happened throughout the whole trailer, where like the older brother was just acting like just such a pansy. And I thought that's a really funny dynamic that you don't really see. And I'm actually gonna go see that. I think I'm gonna go see that. And Fantastic Four comes out next week.
Wow, are we there already?
Yeah, next week. Next weekend, I think.
Mission Impossible this week, isn't it?
Yeah, Mission Impossible this week. So
yeah.
I might go see Vacation in that. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it didn't look promising for either of us, but now that it's gotten good reviews, hey, I'll give it a chance. But yeah, I thought that was weird. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't complain about good stuff. So, well, this next one. You want to take it?
Yeah, sure. Just as speaking of Vacation, the two writers, John Francis Daley and John Goldstein, who are writing the Spider-Man reboot, I forget who they were being interviewed by, but they made a point of talking about how this is going to focus on Peter's humor and the way he uses it as a defense mechanism, and how that's kind of just what he does. And I thought that's to take that and make it a point, like it is in the comics. I mean, how many times to the point where, and this is, it's kind of a spoiler, but it's not, because Superior Spider-Man's over by now. When at the end of that, when you had Ock, you had Ock Parker through that whole run, up until when Peter finally comes back, he's in, and it's him and the Green Goblin. And he just offhand, Goblin yells something at him, and he says something about having a man purse.
Yeah. And
Goblin the whole time knew he was dealing with Octavius. But that line, at that moment, his eyes narrow, and he just goes, "You." Yeah. It's like, that's the thing. His humor, his sarcasm, his kind of his proclivity for that is such a defining characteristic of that character.
Oh yeah.
So that's that. Hey, and look, if it turns out that Vacation really is a good movie, then I'm even more excited for these guys to be writing Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all good news. I mean, I'm excited for it. That's the right approach you want to take with Peter Parker. He's a funny guy, and I think I think they did good with Andrew. Like, they didn't make him this, what they did with Toby. They just made him just strange, or I don't know, strange not the right word. He's just very awkward, and Peter Parker never came off to me like that. He always came off as quick and witty and smart, and not really shy. He was always fumbling because he had to be Spider-Man and be Peter Parker. That's the only part where he was failing,
right?
And so that's why I didn't really like, Toby, even though at the time I did, because that's all we knew of Spider-Man for the movie, universe. But when Andrew did, I thought, oh, this guy, he's nailing it, And so we see anything like that, but more comedy, I'm golden. It just seems like they're kind of perfecting it, I guess.
Here.
Yeah. I saw some Star Wars news. We got Jonathan Aris, or I'm probably saying that wrong, from Sherlock, reportedly cast as Senator Jebel. Whoever that is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, some casting news for Rogue One, so that's
yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I saw a picture of him, and yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him before. He apparently he's in Sherlock.
He's
Oh, he's the cop. He's the
he's
cop.
the forensics guy, yeah.
That's right. That's right. He is the cop. That's right. Okay, yeah. Because he looked familiar, but I thought I've never seen this guy. But yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Got some Batman Killing Joke news. Animated movie, that they're gonna make is kind of based on the Joker story, and it's gonna star Mark Hamill. So,
He's
um,
I love it. He's always talked about like that was gonna be how he's gonna end the Joker. Like he wanted to do that, and then say after doing that, just say that's it.
yeah,
Let
yeah,
that
would
be
make sense.
the last Joker role he does. And
That's a dark story to
Yeah, it
be
is.
animated.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, look at the Arkham games. I mean, there is a market for darker Batman. Not
Yeah.
not like just well and look at the Nolan films, for better or worse. I mean,
That's
there is this idea that excuse me, there is the whole kind of they don't want 90s Batman, they don't want 60s Batman, they want a more modern Batman. They not we don't need him like completely dour Christian Bale all over again, but a little you have to find the right balance. And I know that seems like such a platitude, but there's you can go dark without making everything gray is
Right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, if you've seen the last, and I know you had the last few DC animated films, they're pretty,
They're intense.
yeah, yeah, they're animated films, so I mean, they know that kids or teenagers are gonna watch them, but they're not the same kind of animated films that you watched as a kid. Like they're cussing in it, and it didn't really actually, I didn't even realize it until I started listening to a few other podcasts where they talked about the films, and then they pointed out like I was gonna let my kid watch this, but then they started cussing a lot. I thought that was strange, but to me, I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
It went one ear out the other, and I was like, okay. Well, they were right. I was like, oh wow, yeah, they would have never done that in the '90s, but now it's way more intense and stuff like that. So yeah, I could see it. I'm sure they're gonna cut some things from it that they have to do.
You know, I would have
Oh, yeah.
agreed with you until I saw that they actually made how much of the Dark Knight Returns that they
See, I
made.
didn't see that one.
Ah, 2 parts. You've got to put that on your list right now.
We'll do. Yeah, no, I mean, they gotta leave the Commissioner Gordon stuff out. There's no way they're gonna do that.
Hey man, I'm telling you, watch the Dark Knight Returns, and you'll come
Okay.
away with that, and you'll think, I can't believe they did have that shit.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, I'm serious. Like yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Okay. Yeah, I'll go and get that on Amazon as soon as we get out of here. Yeah, I I didn't know that. Yeah, I've seen. What was the last few ones I've seen? I've seen Doom. I've seen Year One. I've seen. I don't even know. What was the Flashpoint one?
Yeah.
I saw Justice League War. I saw Son of Batman. Assault on Arkham.
Hey, Assault on Arkham, I'll tell you, is not for kids.
Oh no.
That's hardcore.
Oh yeah, I saw Throne of Atlantis, and that was the last one. I know they have Batman and Robin, and they have a new one. It was like a Gods and Monsters.
Gods and
it was like an
Monsters. Yeah,
alternate universe.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Yeah, that just came out actually recently, so
Yeah.
I might put that on my list. But yeah, that's cool news. I mean, Mark Hamill's always kind of said this is the last time him as the Joker, so we'll see. But that would be a perfect note to go out on.
Well, and that's the thing. Like that
Yeah.
was what he always said. Like if he always wanted this to be the last thing. It wasn't like, oh, I'll do this and then retire. It was like, no, I want this to be the last time I do the Joker, because you can't do anything more Joker than this
Exactly.
story. And I think that's the perfect way to look at it.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I agree 100%. So that would be really cool, and I hope it ends the same too. So I won't spoil that for anyone who hasn't read it or seen it. So that'd be really cool. Want to take the next one?
Sure. And I saw this today, and I thought, well, this is cool.
Yeah.
For the next Wolverine movie, Hugh Jackman did a thing today. He put out the hashtag One Last Time, and he did it as a way of getting fans to give their input. And he said, in 50 words or less, say what you want to see from the third Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
And I thought, how cool is that? You know,
It is.
here's let's be honest. You know, Hugh Jackman, for as talented and just just as crazy talented as he is, without this role, either it takes him a lot longer to become the kind of household name that he is, or maybe he doesn't quite get there at all.
Yeah.
And again, this is not a knock on him. We've seen what kind of talent that he has, but this has been a boon for him, no doubt about it. And he's reciprocated this. He's always been out there thanking the fans. He did the thing at Comic-Con when he came out and he gave that great speech about how appreciative he was, and I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did see that, and he had the one claw up, like the middle finger claw.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Yeah, I saw that. He was like, he goes realistically, or he said something like, I'm gonna read as much as I can, and I thought that was cool. Like, to see what the fans want as the last film, and I'm sure they already have their ideas. But
oh yeah,
hey, if you can get a little bee in his ear, a little fly in his ear, and whisper, something, and say something that might stick with him. He might go, hey, can we put this in there? Who knows? That'd be a cool little thing. but yeah, dude, that's totally cool. That's gonna be one of the, like, as much as me and you kind of have the same idea on the X-Men films. We're not really happy with what Fox has done. I know you don't like the X-Men films. You like them a little bit. I like them a little bit more than I think you do.
Oh yeah.
But we're not. We both agree that studio could do a lot better.
Oh yeah.
But the one shining good thing about it throughout the whole thing has been Wolverine. That's the one thing they've got right. So that's it's gonna suck to see him go. That's I've always had that fanboy theory, I guess, is like once he goes, that's when they can restart it and talk to Marvel. I know you don't think it's ever gonna happen.
Never. It'll never happen.
Right. But that's it's just that's the one thing. It does kind of suck. You I mean, how do you replace him? Or they're gonna have more Wolverine because it just makes too much money for Fox. And it's going to be interesting, I guess, to kind of see where they go from that.
Well,
they do 23.
I'm curious to see.
Yeah.
Does it make them that much money because it's Wolverine or because it's Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
Well, I mean, his character is Wolverine is one of the most popular characters.
I agree.
And I think that that is the most popular character Fox has right now. It's of all their X-Men characters, that's the one that's going to sell. On top of Fantastic Four or any of the other comic book characters they own, that's the biggest one. That's the biggest selling point they have. So, I'm sure they'll either recast him, or maybe they'll just leave his character alone for a little bit and do X-23 or something, like kind of like the comics is doing. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see how they go about it. But it's just like Sony, they're gonna make more Spider-Man. Warner Brothers is gonna make more Superman. They're not gonna let those licenses go at any point. So it's gonna be interesting. So, but that's the one thing that does kind of suck is he's gonna have to pass that torch on to somebody.
Or it could be with him going, maybe they bring Gambit in to kind of fill that big name actor, high profile role.
Well, I mean, they do. But no. I mean, nothing's taken. They have huge actors. Like, look at Magneto and Mystique and all these. They brought in pretty big actors right now.
Well, for at least just one more movie.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying is because after the next film or the Apocalypse and Wolverine, we haven't a clue what they're going to do. We know they're talking about New Mutants.
Yeah.
But
well.
you know what I mean? Like nothing's set in stone. Fox is. It's going to be, I think it all depends kind of on how these next two films do, but I hope they don't, I don't know. We've talked in length about what I hope they do, but realistically, I don't know. I'm sure they'll reboot it somehow. Maybe they start it with New Mutants. Who knows? We know where, that's the thing. With all the other studios and comic book franchises, we know where they're at. DC, we're in the new DCU now. There's nothing that's going to change that. the Marvel stuff, we know where they're at. The Sony stuff, we know what they're doing. The Fox is what?
Yeah.
We're in the 70s. We got Deadpool. Gambit's there. He's going to get his own film, and Wolverine's ending. It's all over the place. So I really would like if Fox kind of settled down and said, here's what we're doing, and here's kind of the timeline. But I don't know. That's not going to happen anytime soon, I don't think.
If Fox had a game plan for something like this, they would have done it like 5 or 6 years ago. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And that I give it to all the other studios. They at least have a plan. Be it good or not, they have a plan in their they're doing it. But with Fox, it's Fantastic Four that they're talking about is going to tie into X-Men, but why are you going to tie it in that franchise if that franchise is kind of closing? I don't even know.
There's no cohesion. It's not like, hey, we're doing kind of that. No, it's like, hey, this is a story, do that.
Exactly.
And then figure out a way to make it fit, kind of,
Yeah, and that's the one thing about Fantastic Four is they play great with a lot of other characters, and that's why, thinking about them sharing the world with the X-Men, that's cool. I'd rather it be the Avengers. I'd rather it be bigger and, the Kree and the Skrulls and all that stuff, like the Silver Surfer, Galactus. It fits better with that. Where the X-Men, it's like, okay. All right, they're like 4 mutants, kind of. So I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But
we interrupt this previously recorded broadcast to bring you this special report.
It's kind of 2 big things hit for movies. So I'm sure this is squeezed somewhere in the movie section. But yeah. Well, let's talk about the first thing. The first one that I noticed immediately when we got off was Channing Tatum dropped out of X-Men.
What?
Out of the Gambit film, and you know what? I'm glad I didn't.
You were not a fan of this casting, were you?
No, I wasn't. And I like Channing Tatum. I've come to like him, especially in the 21 Jump Street films. But he did not scream, Gambit. I know he was passionate about it, so I'll give him that. I know that he's always kind of want to play that role. So I'm really interested in finding out why he would have dropped out, because it can't be by his own it can't be something that, I don't know, that it just, you hear how passionate it was. He fought for this role.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious why he would be dropping out. Maybe Fox is going in a different direction. He was just there at Comic-Con, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just with the cast. He was excited. They announced him. Something must have happened.
And this has got to be something big. Like, this isn't a money thing, because that would have all been settled by now. Like, this has to be something huge.
Yeah, no, I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he must have had a different. I can't see it. Usually when things like this happened, there's another film that they're trying to shoot, and it's just not going to work. This happened, and it's usually well before it's announced. It's usually when it's rumored or they're in talks. Like what's his name? Guy who played Bane.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, he was supposed to be in Suicide Squad. It was rumored. Then they were talking to them, and then it was announced, and he backed out, and he was saying, I'd love to be in this film. I want to be in this film, but there's just too many conflicts.
Yeah.
With shooting. And so I can't see that being the case, because he fought for this role. He passionately wanted to be Gambit, and I'll give that to him. He knows the character. But yeah, something must have happened, and it's going to be interesting seeing moving forward what this means. Maybe Fox is going in a different direction with their characters and their movie universe. We kind of just talked about that.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're just like, maybe Gambit doesn't fit in what we want to do movie-wise.
Yeah, like that's huge, man, because they were hanging this on him largely because he was so passionate. He was like, I want to do this, I can do this, I know this character, I love this character, I want to be this character. And they were like, okay. And now, yeah, like I just...
Yeah, I can't wait to find out what happened and what fell through and why the bottom fell out on this. But
yeah,
it's going to be interesting moving forward to see what they do.
And we got one more piece of news.
Yeah, you take it.
And it was funny. I found this news while I was looking for another article on that news.
Oh, yeah.
And I stumbled across, hey, Chris Pine has officially been cast as Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah. I thought, it was rumored that he was going to be Hal Jordan.
Yeah, well, they've been going back and forth. Like, the first rumor was Steve Trevor, and then lately they've been rumoring Hal Jordan, and I don't know why exactly that second rumor ever came about.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he could have fit
because
either way.
of, what's his face?
Oh, Tyrese. Yeah.
Tyrese.
Right.
I think he actually said, wouldn't we make a great wouldn't we make good Green Lanterns or something like that? I thought he mentioned him in something, and that probably was talked about with DC. I'm sure he was sitting there going, "Hey, I'd like to get involved in this," and DC probably was like, "We'd love you to get involved in this, and maybe this fit better in the schedule, maybe this was just better fit for him, and maybe introducing 2 Green Lanterns at once might not be a good idea."
Well, but the movie is called Green Lantern Corps now.
Oh, that's true. You're absolutely right. So I'm sure they got someone else in mind, or they'll work on someone. Yeah, I mean, there's so many Green Lantern characters. There's got with Kyle, and what's his name? The guy everyone hates. He's a redhead.
God, yeah. Don't let Aaron hear you say that.
I know. Well, no. I actually like him. But yeah, no, Aaron loves him. I actually like Guy Gardner. I just forgot his name for a second. I'm not really into Green Lantern that much. But yeah, that famous panel of him getting punched in the face by Batman.
Yeah.
But he's been cool lately, like in the Red Lanterns and whatnot. Now he's like a Green and Red Lantern. He has both.
Oh yeah, because that always ends well.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow he's got both rings, so I actually need to catch up on that. But there's so many Green Lantern characters that they could put in there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was just a better fit as.
Well, I think he plays. When you look at the two characters, I think Chris Pine can do Steve Trevor a lot better than he can Hal Jordan. I think he would have made a fine Hal Jordan, but I think he makes a better Steve Trevor.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. Who would you think would play Hal Jordan?
Oh man, you know what? I don't know. I don't really have another choice.
Oh yeah,
because I haven't really thought about it at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to think about it too. Who voices him in the animated series?
Nathan Fillion, which would be a great fit if he was 20 years younger.
That's true. Who knows? Maybe this is a older, wiser Hal Jordan.
I haven't ever seen such a thing in the comics, but we could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hal Jordan he had white hair at one point.
Yeah.
He was older, and then he got reanimated or whatever. He was rebirthed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he absorbed. He absorbed the yellow spirit and killed the universe, and I mean, Hal's had some issues.
Yeah.
No, like I would if they were gonna go that road and do like a younger Hal Jordan mentoring John Stewart or something, I would sure. Then I would absolutely say Nathan Fillion, totally.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like an Ant-Man scenario.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, I would totally be all right with that, and he'd be funny, and that'd actually be really interesting. I would be totally down if they did like an Ant-Man type scenario, and Jason Fillion was just kind of like, "Hey, I've been here. No one heard about me because I was, I became a Green Lantern, and then I left."
Yeah, I had space to patrol, guys.
Exactly, I had space patrol, so it could totally be a I've been in this world character, just like Batman has been for 20 years, but he's like, you guys haven't heard about me because I've been out saving the universe.
Yeah, that could work.
And Tyrese could be the young, like, just Tyrese how he is, and he has to kind of, all right, calm down a little bit, but yeah, it's that would totally work.
Yeah, so interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Pine he's getting so many roles now.
Well, I mean, he's not a bad actor.
Nope, not at all. And so, he's got Star Trek 3 coming out too, so he's got a lot to But yeah, man. So of course, we just wanted to come back and talk about that a little bit. I don't know if you have any more to say, but holy crap! Like,
Yeah, like
of course it happens.
yeah, right. That'll teach us to be industrious and record like before midnight. Shame on us.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, and that's exactly what happens. So, but yeah, man. So well, that's it. We'll let you get back to the podcast. But yeah, so we got some more comic book news. I did see this that Rachel McAdams is reportedly in talks to co-star as a female lead in Doctor Strange, which I'm
Yes.
bored. Do you like Rachel McAdams?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Have you been watching True Detective at all this season?
Not this season, no.
She's probably the best thing about True Detective, I think. This season sucks. Like, it's not that good. I'm just finishing it because there's 3 episodes left, and I've already invested all this time. I have no idea why it's got like a 9 point something rating on IMDb. Maybe I'm just crazy, But I look at Twitter sometimes when the show's on, and most people think the same way on it. They're like, "What the hell is going on in this show?" Like, anyone that watches, anyone I talk to, I'm like, do you have any idea what's going on? No one has a clue. Like, it has something to do with, I don't even want to get into it, but it's totally confusing. They don't do any setup. They don't explain anything. You're just boop in this world with these characters that are super complex, and it doesn't make any sense what their conversations are about.
Right. It's not like it was the first season where it was like, this is bizarre, but there's a thread to follow, right?
Exactly. There was a thread and context. And, when these two people are having conversations yeah, that was the thing. At the beginning of the first season of True Detective, it takes a few episodes to get your bearings. But you get it. You're in. You're like, okay, there's a plot and there's a very clear goal in what these two characters want. In this one, there's too many characters. I don't know what the hell's going on. There's someone named Casper, and people are dead, and they don't exactly explain what everyone's job and all this other stuff is. So I'm like, he's a city leader, but he's not, and he's corrupt, and I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but it's just weird. So once that's done, I'll talk more about it. Once it might be one of those things where the last 2 episodes, it ties it up nicely, but holy crap, is it taking a long time to get there? But yeah, so I liked her in that. So, and of course a lot of other things. But I'm all in. Doctor Strange. I was thinking because my buddy was talking to me like he wants to know what's the first Marvel film that's gonna fail. And they've made like 12 films that have all done pretty well. They've all been successful. You know what I mean? They've all been extremely successful.
Well, not exactly all of them. I mean,
no, they haven't made one bomb.
Well, not bomb per se. I'll give you that one. But like Ant-Man has not made spectacular money. It hasn't tanked, but not.
In one weekend, it made its money. So I mean, it's to me tanking and bombing.
Oh yeah, you've got to fail huge. I know, but I'm
right. Yeah, Ant-Man isn't Guardians, but the studio also didn't put that much money into it either. You know what I mean? Like they put 112 million. That was it, and that made it that weekend pretty much. So
and none of it went to CGI young Michael Douglas's face.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a bomb is like Green Lantern, where at the very end of its run, it finally made just enough to not cost money, to then make money. But like, what would be the first one that comes out and just doesn't hit number one? Does kind of what Green Lantern does. Doesn't make its money until the very last weekend. Doctor Strange is probably the one that I would be the most worried about.
Oh, no way.
Well, the reason why is because it's horror, and that kind of genre doesn't generate a lot of money. Like the last few horror films, there's been a few that have hit really big, like Conjuring, but in the last 5 years, I can't tell you off the top of my head one that made. And that's the other thing. They don't cost that much to make either.
Well, and hang on.
Doctor Strange is going to cost a lot.
Yeah, but I disagree with your classification. I don't think it's horror. I think it's supernatural.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a horror film. I think just because, you're going to have alternate dimensions and other beings and whatnot, but it's not going to be, this isn't Poltergeist here.
Well, he's also the one that, to me, he's more obscure than Ant-Man. And I'm not saying that as in personally because I want to see Doctor Strange. I love his character when I read him in the books and whatnot. But I talked to my friends and stuff. No one knew who Ant-Man is. No one knows who Doctor Strange is
Yeah,
either.
fair enough.
And so that's where I was like, at least with Ant-Man, it has the comedy, it has Paul Rudd, and it was a fun film. Where Doctor Strange, I don't get that vibe at least.
It stars Benedict Cumberbatch and it has magic. Like, that's their selling point.
Well, that works for me and you.
And that's going to work with
that.
a crap ton of people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's the one where I think if it's ever going to go anywhere in that direction, it might be that one. But hey, I'm happy that Marvel is doing these characters that they wouldn't have risked 5-10 years ago ever.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're not just getting Thor 4, 5, 6, 7, Iron Man 6. I'm glad that they're expanding. And it's not going to make as much. I don't think it is. Ant-Man's not going to make as much. Doctor Strange is going to make it much. But as long as they're good, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't want to be negative about Doctor Strange because I'm actually really excited about it, and I love that it's going to be very different.
I see your point totally.
Yeah. So and Benedict Cumberbatch, I absolutely love, of course. And so I'm excited for that. Definitely, I'm more excited for that than a lot of other films coming out. Especially Fantastic Four. Even though I've kind of warmed up a little bit. I'm trying to be positive. I want to go into it not being negative whatsoever and just see what happens. And I've kind of gotten over how like it just doesn't look or feel or anything in the trailer, so I'm over it. So I kind of want to see what it's like though. But yeah, so you take the next one because I don't know. I've never known how to pronounce this name.
Really?
Yeah, Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Yeah. See, okay, we've established that I'm horrible at names. It is the ongoing joke. So, but I saw they were going to do a remake. I never actually saw the original.
The original's just kind of interesting in the sense of like the history of film. Kind of interesting. Like it hasn't aged at all because it's 93 years old. That's part of it.
Wow.
But it's a piece of film history. Yeah, the original Nosferatu was 1922.
Okay.
And that, Max Schreck's Count Orlok is kind of the prototypical vampire and whatnot. But and this isn't the first remake. They did one in the 70s, I think.
I mean, the imagery from it alone always creeped me out.
Yeah. And I mean, that was kind of the point. Like, especially as a silent film. But, Studio 8's gonna get a remake going. Robert Eggers, who directed The Witch, which at Sundance, I think, he won, like, the Director's Award or something. Apparently, this got a good pop. But,
okay.
So we'll see how this turns out. I always worry about remakes, especially something like this. Like, just make a new vampire story instead,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I was looking at the imagery of this when I was looking at the story and whatnot. You know what I thought would be a cool idea? I would like a video game in black and white. Now, I know there's, like, Limbo and stuff like that, but I want, like, thinking about this film and, like, Godzilla and stuff like that, I think it'd be super cool. And, no one, there's not a game like it out right now at all. If they did, like, an old school black and white style, but make it like a video game, very stylish, but did it something like this, make it like kind of like, you ever play Life is Strange?
No.
Kind of like that. I don't know. I just think that would be such a neat path to do a video game with, and make it a smaller game, make it a $20 game, but something that's black and white. Like, I was looking at the Godzilla game that came out, and I thought that would be super cool black and white. Like, how awesome would that be? Give it an option, I guess, to be black and white.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just it's just something I think that they haven't done.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the Godzilla game would have been cool if it was good too. So
yeah. No, see, I haven't heard anything about it or anything like that.
It's abysmal.
Oh yeah.
It's so bad, which is unfortunate, but it was almost like you could see it coming.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I only saw like bits and pieces of it, but I didn't even. yeah. I mean, from what I understand, it kind of looked like a PS3 game. But then again, the graphics aren't everything.
Yeah, but a bad PS3 game, and
Right.
it plays even worse.
Oh, that sucks.
That's the big problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I was kind of bummed out when I saw the Tony Hawk stuff because I was like, that looks straight out of like PlayStation 3 era.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, so I don't know. I just thought about that because we had the Cuphead coming out, and I thought that's a cool idea. That's from a time we never see games look like that.
No,
That
yeah.
looks totally different.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to have like I don't know, a black and white one. So yeah, I saw that Glenn or Jill, I'm sorry, Jill Keenan is directing Five Nights from Freddy's from Warner Brothers. Have you ever played that game?
I did a couple of years ago. A buddy of mine had a copy of the original. He was like, "Play this," and I was like, "Okay," and I played it, and then I killed him.
Yeah,
I think it's creepy as hell, man.
It is?
Like
No. See, my maybe I didn't play it right. My one of my nephews handed it to me. He was like, he got an iPad. He knows kind of always go. His dad was like, "Show Uncle Adam." He loves all that stuff. So he came over to me, and I acted scared, and I acted excited playing, because that's what you do when a kid hands you a game, and he's all excited about it. And I'm like, "Oh wow, what is it?" And but in my head, I'm like, "What am I doing in this game? Like, you close doors, you open doors. There's like stuffed animal people. There's like the what? Oh, my mind's going blank right now. What's that pizza place?
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese characters.
And that's essentially that's the thing of like you're an overnight security guard at a Chuck E. Cheese where all the mascots come to life and are haunted and demonic and horrifying.
Do you go out into this world, or you just sit in the chair?
I think you just sit. I think like the whole point is like they're trying to get to you.
Right, yeah, okay, so I don't know, maybe I wasn't playing it right or something, and probably wasn't the best environment. It was like Christmas or something.
Yeah, that's
I think with those kind of games, you have to like the lights off, and
yeah.
The way I heard some people talking about it was like, oh God, my brain's just going dumb today. What's the PlayStation 4 game? Really scary.
Which there've been a couple.
The why my mind just go blank? The only one that scared me in the last year, the one that they canceled.
PT, Silent Hills.
Yeah, Silent Hills. PT was scary. Like, that was like legitimately freaky.
Totally.
I thought that Five Nights at Freddy was just kind of like I guess at one point it did pop up and do like a jump scare. But it's super popular, so I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't make it a movie. Let's see he did. Monster House, City of Ember, Poltergeist. Oh, he did the new Poltergeist movie.
I thought that name sounded familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw about half of that, but I had to go do something. I heard it was average 5.0 here it says.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Like, it's not. That was the thing. Like, I fully expected the new Poltergeist to be kind of in line with most horror remakes, which being offensively bad.
Yeah.
Like, just being so awful. You're like, how dare you? This was just like, I mean, there really wasn't anything good about it, but like it wasn't atrocious.
Right. Yeah. And so it was one of those like I just haven't gotten back to it. I want to finish it, but I'm pretty sure I know what happens anyway. I did see that the Bourne Identity series got a new cast member,
yes.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's cool. I mean, I can't think of the last thing he was in.
Probably would have been Captain America.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
mean, that's the last thing I saw him in. I'm sure he's done things since then. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, no, I dig Tommy Lee Jones, so that's cool. That's some good talent for that. Was Matt Damon in the last one, or wasn't it someone else?
Jeremy Renner was Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner, that's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they decided that they're gonna have. See. Here's the thing. I think they're gonna do like 2 separate universes with them. Like, the stories won't meet. This is the last thing I saw about either of these movies was probably a year or so ago, and it was like, oh no, they're separate. Like, you're not gonna have I forget the guy's name that Jeremy Renner played run into Jason Bourne at
Maybe
some point.
I just don't. I've never really followed this series, to be quite honest. I've seen maybe one of the Bourne movies, and I've seen part of the Jeremy Renner one, but I don't understand the connection.
The whole thing is based around a CIA program to create like the perfect agent.
Right.
And they wind up with Jason Bourne. And then that's 3 movies. And then they tried like that program 2.0, and that's how you got Jeremy Renner.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing here Aaron Cross. Okay,
Aaron Cross, thank you.
So they got their own, and they never crossed over, like he wasn't in it?
No, he wasn't in it at all.
Okay,
like
was he mentioned?
There was a reference, I think.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first 3 are enjoyable. Jeremy's is the Bourne Legacy, and it's kind of, it's...
Weren't they trying to get him to do the Mission Impossible films?
He's in the Mission Impossible films.
No, I mean to take over.
I don't know.
What I understand, he was supposed to take over, but then Tom Cruise kind of was like, oh, no, I still want to stay around.
And that wouldn't be surprising. Like, Jeremy's underestimated. I really do think so. And that's why I liked his stuff in Age of Ultron. Because you got to see, like, hey, this guy actually has, remember when he was really good in the Hurt Locker? Like, he can act. Like, instead of just be, quip guy with a bow and arrow. Like, he can actually do things.
Right, yeah, he's like, it's kind of like in wrestling, where, like, you have a really good wrestler, but they got to have Stone Cold Steve Austin out every week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he kind of gets overshadowed. So, yeah, man. Oh, speaking of that, did you see John Cena's nose or whatever that's been going on the internet?
Man, I saw that happen, and it's like I saw the news stories before I saw Raw, but when I'm watching the match, and you could see exactly when it happened. I was watching it live with some family. I was like, holy crap, like that looks bad. Like, you'd think they'd stop the match. That's a lot of people like to say, oh, wrestling's fake. That was real. Like, his nose was on the side of his face. Yeah, but I mean, how many times have we seen somebody? I mean, hell, Triple H wrestled with a torn quad, like a torn off the bone quad.
Jesus.
Like, that's, I mean, you hurry along the finish for the match, but you're not just like, oh, wait, they're hurt, this has to end. Like, sometimes that's not exactly the best call to make, but that's show business.
I'm glad Taker's back. I saw that, and I saw that Royal Rumble's coming to Orlando, so I'm going to be going to that.
Oh, really? Because I know isn't SummerSlam in Orlando?
No, SummerSlam is somewhere else. I know. Oh, wait, no, hold on. This is turning the wrestling podcast, but hold on, let me take a look here. SummerSlam.
Oh no, it's in Brooklyn. That's right, it's in Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn. Okay, yeah.
That's right.
My bad.
Yeah, the Rumble's in Orlando. Nice.
Yeah, Royal Rumble. It'll be my first wrestling event, so I'm like, okay, I'm down. I know that like NXT actually does stuff here, so I maybe do that.
Go to that at Full Sail. I'm telling you, it's an awesome show.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, they do 4 weeks of taping at a time, so you're there for like a 4-hour show. Go, man, it's phenomenal, because those guys, that's where you get to see, like, I went when I was at Full Sail, so my tickets were free. Like, we could like, students could get a free ticket with ID, and I got to see Seth Rollins and the rest of the Shield before they got called up.
Cool.
I got to see Adam Rose when he had a halfway decent gimmick. I got to see a lot of the divas that they're just bringing up now, back when they were still honing everything, and it's like I got to see a lot of really awesome, cool stuff.
Oh yeah, they definitely put some, what's the word? They definitely made that division really exciting with all the news girls coming in.
Yeah, totally. It was
definitely needed, especially they lost AJ. So
yeah, and the thing with NXT, with it not being like a broadcast show, the restrictions are a little looser. So they've got more freedom on the mic and in the ring to put stuff together. And you had Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, like a year ago at NXT TakeOver, put on this just absolute clinic of a match. It was phenomenal.
Oh, cool.
But that's the standard for the NXT brand. Like, that's, you see somebody like Kevin Owens come on Raw, and it makes this gigantic splash, pun mildly intended.
Yeah.
And you see the kind of matches he has with John Cena, and you're thinking, where the hell has this been for the last couple of years? It's been on NXT.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I saw Kevin Owens, and I just started kind of watching wrestling again, and I saw him doing his stuff with Cena, and that was some of the best stuff I've ever seen.
Yes.
I was like, wow, this guy's good.
This is
You know,
a good time for anybody who's kind of fallen off the wagon with WWE. Get back into it because they are turning that product around.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, and I mean, I guess Kevin Owens is kind of a heel, but he was like, I like that. Like he was a really cool kind of heel. So yeah, it was definitely cool. So when I heard that they were, a few of my friends were like, hey, let's go to that. And some of my friends who don't watch wrestling, but they're like, hey, let's just get really drunk and go to this. I was like, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Take a sign, man. You gotta take a sign if you're gonna go.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know what I would put on it.
Pork. I miss the
pork.
pork signs. I do.
I'll put a We Geek podcast sign.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Just put WGP on it, so they're not like,
go.
oh, you can't advertise that product. They're just gonna be looking at it like, what the hell does that mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. This. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, man, I don't even know how we got on that. But yeah, so that was my fault. but yeah, man, Bourne, Tommy Lee Jones. But yeah, so I saw that I just shot you this trailer, the Seth Rogen's vulgar Christmas comedy, the night before.
Yeah, and I watched that and I thought, okay, you've got Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, sorry, and Anthony Mackie. I'm in. I don't even care what the movie's about. I'm in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I thought it looked great.
It's it's a Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah,
By this
exactly.
point, you know if you like them or not.
Right. Yeah. If you don't like those kind of films, you're not gonna like this. It's just like Adam Sandler. Like I don't like Adam Sandler films. I'm not gonna go see them because I know what I'm in for.
Exactly.
Like, even that Pixar one that came out, like, of course, because it has the pixels type stuff, the Pac-Man stuff, my interest was like, huh? What is that? And then when everyone else that saw it, and I saw some like professional reviewers, they're like, don't let that trick you. It is an Adam Sandler film.
It's still an Adam Sandler film, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the studio, like, man, every website I go to, he can't catch it. Like, it's finally the country has woken up and said, oh yeah, this is really bad. Why are we still paying him? And it's bad. Like articles like Kotaku and the Gawker sites and a few other sites that I've read, they've in the last 2 weeks they've posted like 2 or 3 different like, holy crap, this is bad and we need to stop making Adam Sandler films.
Well, we figured we would have learned that after Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
That was the one where it was like, if he works after this, we have only ourselves to blame.
Yeah. Oh
And,
yeah. There's no heart in those films. Like, at least with Seth Rogen, there's dick and fart jokes, but there's heart to them. There's with him and Evan Goldberg, the films that they write, there's actually some substance to it.
Yeah.
Mixed into the dick and fart jokes. But yeah, I mean, you can't. That cast, it's great. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh shit, look at this, look at the talent, I'm in.
It's Robin, Falcon, and Stoner,
Yeah, and you look at like IMDb, there's Kanye West in there for randomly. So I wonder what the hell he's doing. Jillian Bell, she's in a lot of stuff recently, and I love her characters that she plays. You probably don't know the name, but you'd probably recognize her from like 22 Jump Street. Bridesmaids. What are some other films she does? She's in the Goosebumps film. What I remember her from is Workaholics.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll see her face and you'll know who she is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, Jillian Bell. So, but yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was cool. But that kind of wraps it up for movies. So we'll move right along to television.
Yeah.
Oh man, I still haven't. That's one thing I've been thinking about is this Doctor Who.
I'm gonna hit you, man. Get on this. Like.
What really got me excited, and I don't know if I share. I'm positive I shared this with you, but sorry if I've said this a million times. I probably even said it last week. Did you see the Lego Dimensions Doctor Who stuff?
I did.
Yeah, like I think I might have saw that this week or something, and it reminded. I knew he was gonna be in it. I think I remember talking about it previously, but I saw like the trailer and stuff, and I thought, oh, this looks cool. I even texted my buddy who I used to work with, who doesn't have a PlayStation or anything, and he was like, well, I guess I need to buy a PlayStation now.
There you go.
Oh yeah, he's British. He's over from he moved here years ago from England, and he very much loves America, and he very much loves his country, but he also really loves England, and that's one of the things he's passionate. He's passionate about Doctor Who and soccer. I mean, he's stereotypical Englishman,
Yeah.
and I sent him that, and he was like, wow. He was like, there's not ever really been a Doctor Who game that he doesn't remember, and he's like, that looks cool. So, but yeah, so series actually comes out on my birthday. The Doctor Who Series 8, I'm sorry, coming to Netflix on my birthday, so that's pretty exciting.
Nice. Yeah. So
Yeah,
now nobody has any excuse to not be caught up.
exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, that's one thing that I said I need to get to. I need to get to that because it's weird how in life just things kind of pop up, and you're like, oh, I've been talking about needing to get into that, and it just reminds me.
There you go.
You take the next one. A lot of the Netflix news.
Yeah, Netflix had, well, because they had a thing at the, what was it, the Television Critics Association today, or rather yesterday. Well, today when we're recording, yesterday when we're posting. On Tuesday at the TCA,
Right.
Netflix, like their big content guy, their chief content officer, Ted Sarandos, he fielded a lot of questions. There was a big presentation about a whole bunch of stuff, but they talked for a minute about the Defenders and how what they're gonna do, what their plan is to space each new series or season of a series like 6 months apart. So we're gonna get Jessica Jones towards the end of this year. It'll probably be like November-ish, maybe December. And then we're going to get Daredevil Season 2, of course, we know, early next year. It'll probably be about the same time. It'll probably be April-ish next year. And that each one of these characters, those two, and then Iron Fist and Luke Cage, they're all going to get at least one season before we do the Defenders crossover.
Right.
So I thought that's pretty cool. That's really
Yeah, and
cool.
that's what I assumed too. I was hoping that we'd get them a little bit sooner because I mean at this point we're gonna get Defenders in 2017, right?
Probably 17. Yeah, I'm thinking
Right. Yeah.
17, maybe early 18 at the latest.
Right. So yeah, we'll probably have 2 seasons of Jessica Jones and Daredevil and then we'll probably get one of the other ones of each. So I mean that makes sense. And that's cool. I mean, let's be honest, they're all gonna probably cross over anyway. So yeah, man, I'm excited about Defenders. I'm sure they even probably got some secret characters in there we don't even know about yet.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers for some Moon Knight or Taskmaster. Who knows?
Well, I mean, hell, we get Punisher next Daredevil
yeah.
season. Like, yeah.
And I have a feeling he's going to be kind of mixed in through all of it because he's perfect,
Oh,
to
sure.
pop in and out. And that's the thing about the Punisher, and that's the thing about a lot of these other characters is that, maybe they don't need their own spotlight because sometimes they just work better in an ensemble. Just like the Hulk. I've always thought that, like, a film about the Hulk kind of it's tiring, but when you see him in the film and he has these big epic moments, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of feel about it in the comics. Like there's a few Incredible Hulk runs that I've read that I liked, but not really compared to a lot of other characters. I like him more as like ensemble. So yeah, so that's exciting. And actually, I did. Did you see that he had to defend, or he was like, I'm not going to defend Adam Sandler when he talked about him too, because I guess he has some deal with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Netflix, like, they're financing his next, like, they have what, like a 2 or 4 picture exclusive deal on Netflix?
And because they were like, how did you? Because I guess someone asked him, like, does it make you nervous dealing with Adam Sandler because he just, made $20 million or whatever. His film only made $20 million, and he was like, oh yeah, we're thrilled, and I don't have to, defend him to you guys. Whatever. I thought that was funny. I was like, Jesus.
Well, because I mean, look, it's
got to make people a little nervous who has stake in Netflix.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's one part. This is, for everything they do that makes them so much money. For every look, they've got House of Cards and all this Marvel stuff and Orange is the New Black and so on and so on and so on. Something's got to be a dud.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And I think actually they're gonna get their first cancellation. I saw and what's his name? The guy from Sopranos. It's Lilyhammer. Yeah, it's gonna be their. Lilyhammer is getting canceled after its 3rd season.
Huh.
And that show wasn't that good. I saw the first season and I was like, I've seen enough. I want to see more. Oh wow, my mind just went blank. Marco Polo. That's it. Yeah. I
Okay.
wanted to say Monty Polo, but that would have made sense. I really dug that series when it came out. So from what I understand, it's picked up. It's going to do a season 2. So
Okay.
yeah. So I can't wait for that to come back. But yeah, Netflix, and they have actually next week. What? Or no, it's right now, isn't it? Wet Hot American Summer.
Is that now?
Is it? Yeah, here.
I don't remember. I don't think that's now yet.
I'm pretty sure it's Friday.
And maybe it could be Friday.
Yeah, Wet Hot American Summer. Let's see here. Come on. Netflix release dates. Yeah, July 31st. So it is this Friday.
Nice.
Yep. So I'm gonna be watching that. The talent in that thing is just packed. Now that's a show. Yeah. Is it 13? Is it 13 episodes?
I don't know.
Okay, let me take a look here. I'll just make sure it's just not like a movie.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I keep seeing stuff for it, but I'm like, I'm not interested. You know, like, I don't know, that whole show just doesn't really interest me.
Did you ever see the original?
I didn't. No.
Oh, okay. Well, the original was just a movie, so go. Yeah, if you have the time, go watch the movie. And what makes this so great is they're all playing the same characters,
but younger.
Younger, but 20 years older.
Yeah.
You know, so they're all, you're in on the joke. You're in on the joke as the audience, like thinking how fucking ridiculous all these people look, trying to act like they're teenagers. And it's got so much talent in it, man. Like Paul Rudd, like it's I recommend go watch the movie. It's funny as hell. And you know, give an episode a try, because that's what I'm going to be watching this weekend. Yeah, man. Some other news with it. They Fuller House confirmed the Olsen twins offered a role in the show. Now, does that mean they're getting?
That means they've gotten a phone call. They're like, "Hey, we're doing this show. Do you want to be on it?" Like that's where we are.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's kind of dumb.
Here's the thing. They're gonna have to play the same character.
Yeah. Like
they did 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's weird about it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know. It'd be funny. Yeah, so that's gonna be cool. Did you see that Girl Meets World did an episode about the Dark Knight Returns comic?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, like I guess, you know, I didn't watch the episode. I just saw it in the news that whoever their teacher is, not Mr. Feeney, but someone else, did a lesson plan about the Dark Knight Returns. And it's, you know, it's plot points about good and evil and stuff like that. Okay. And I just thought that was funny because there's a Disney company doing a TV show, and in the TV show they could have used any comic book, but they used a Warner Brothers one. So I don't know, I thought that was funny. Or a DC one. Yeah, but that hit my radar this week, and I was like, oh, that's weird. We're talking about Full House, so I figured somehow it fits in there. Yeah. Now Longmire, this is one you've seen before, right?
Longmire. Yeah.
Longmire,
yeah, this was on A&E for three seasons, I think. Oh. And it was canceled, and the fan base went no, and Netflix went okay, we'll take it. And so it's getting its next season. I'm pretty sure it's season 4 premiere. I think season 4 or 5. I'm sticking with 4. I think it's 4. Like I've only seen like the first few episodes, and I enjoyed it. It's kind of a slow burn, but I like it. And that premieres September 10th. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah, it's Lou Diamond Phillips and Katie Sackhoff. It's good. It's good.
Oh, okay, yeah. I also heard, and maybe I'm trying to find my source here. Didn't Netflix pick up Futurama?
They've been running Futurama, but I don't think it's continuing.
Didn't they do they picked it up?
What, to continue it?
Yeah, that's what I thought I read.
I don't think so.
Okay. So I might have just been reading something else. Okay. Yeah, because I thought I read that Netflix officially picked up Futurama for more episodes. But okay, guess I was wrong about that.
I don't think so. I don't know. It's possible, I guess,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure no.
I'll hold off on that because I don't find any official source here. I saw it. I think on a yeah. Never mind. um. Yeah, you take the next one. This one we kind of talked. Wait,
We did this. Yeah.
okay? So it's not a movie; it's a TV show.
I didn't move it when I did my notes. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot to move that.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right.
Yeah, we did that. We did that already.
Okay. Yeah. Have you seen BoJackman?
BoJack Horseman, you mean?
BoJack. What did I? Okay, BoJack Horseman, not BoJackman. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've only seen one episode.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, but it's apparently extremely popular.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
Yeah, like this is kind of Netflix's answer to what's that FX series?
Archer.
Archer. Yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of.
Which is
Like,
interesting because they have Archer on Netflix.
Yeah. So it's kind of like their Archer or the Family Guy or something like that, just kind of a raunchy animated comedy. But yeah, so that gets got renewed for season 3. So
Nice. Okay. I'll have to try that at some point.
oh yeah, I saw that Sci-Fi ordered a Grindhouse series called Blood Drive. From John Halvin and David Stratton. Do you like Grindhouse films at all?
No.
No, you didn't like the ones that they tried to do a few years ago.
Nah.
Like with Tarantino. I thought they were kind of cool, but Sci-Fi is kind of the perfect place for it. I was hanging out with my family this weekend. Like I said, I did finish the lawn and everything else for my grandfather, and we just had a bunch of people over and cooked a bunch of ribs and stuff like that. And I was surprised. They all were talking about Sharknado 3. And they all saw this. They're like, Adam, have you seen this movie called Sharknado? And they're like, it is so good and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, Meemaw, I love them to death. But yeah, they were like, oh, it's so interesting. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. And I'm like, wow. So yeah, they loved it. So apparently I didn't realize how big Sharknado was.
Oh, it's huge. That's why
huge.
they have, what was the other one? Lavalantula this week. Like that was the next one.
Oh yeah. So I explained I kind of explained to them like this is kind of Sci-Fi's thing now. They're going the route of like let's make a movie so bad it's good. Like you can sit there and laugh and stuff with your friends. So yeah, we watched Sharknado 2 or whatever, the one in New York.
I think that was 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it starts out they're on an airplane and it has like Ozzy Osbourne's daughter or something. I don't know, but it was funny. But yeah, they're kind of going that route of like let's get crazy and weird and okay. I kind of wish they would do something like Battlestar Galactica, but whatever. But yeah, so I thought that was weird.
And of course they're doing a Sharknado 4. We know this already.
What? So what? I don't even want to get into that because
Yeah.
I don't. It's a twister, but it's a storm with sharks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never watched them. Man, I've had no interest in watching these movies at all.
Yeah, I mean, what is it gonna be like Avalanche with Wolves or something? Like they got to do like a versus, right?
I at some point, sure. I mean
Tsunami Cats or something.
Oh, God.
Or Catnado would probably be pretty cool. Catnado, or I don't even know.
It's a hurricane,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God. No.
But yeah, it had like a whole bunch of like C-list D, E, and F list celebrities that were in it that were just name dropped.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for movies and TV. Let's get into video games and then comics and wrap it up. But the not much video game news this week, of course, after coming out of E3 and Comic-Con, it's been kind of dead.
It's kind of quiet, really. We've hit the doldrums in terms of video games for the next couple months.
Oh yeah, exactly. Rise of the Tomb Raider, we got an official, announcement that it is exclusively confirmed as timed.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Steam version comes early 2016. PS4 version comes holiday 2016.
Yeah, it's got
That'll
a
be like an
console.
entire
Yeah,
yeah later. So,
yeah.
okay, all right. I'll have Uncharted to play in what early next year anyway. So,
March, give or take. Yeah. Now this,
yeah,
I'm okay with this. Like we'll wait a year. That's fine. Work out all the bugs and everything,
yeah,
and
exactly.
what I'm gonna love is if like okay, Microsoft had the exclusive, but when it comes out for PS4, it gets like the deluxe edition.
Yeah, well,
Like
that's exactly what's going to happen.
yeah,
It's going to have the Game of the Year edition or whatever. It's going to have here's all the DLC and everything nice in one little place.
exactly. For no extra charge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Kind of
I'm on.
like they did the Last of Us when it came to PS4, the remastered. It came with all the DLC and stuff, and it was like
Yeah.
$40 instead of 60. But I mean, the game looks cool. It's one of those situations where this just sucks for fans. It's just the
Yeah.
only people that get screwed is the players. This is all just corporate greed. There's no reason for a third party developer to I was listening to an interview and it just baffles me. The words that came out of mouth were, "We knew fans would not be happy with this hearing it at first."
And here's the thing. Like I saw like the official release for this.
Yeah.
And they talked about why they did it, and it was like because they wanted to see it showcased with games like Halo and Gears of War, and I'm like, they do that anyway.
Yep.
They take
Yeah.
third-party games and they stick them up there anyway. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing about this makes sense.
No, it's just money. That's all it is. It's a money grab. There were deals done behind the scenes between these two companies for them to be put on one console because Xbox wanted it to be it was just going to be a slap in the face to Sony going, "We got your Tomb Raider," because it was exclusive to you guys for years. Now it's going to be on Xbox first. That's literally all it is.
Yeah.
It was their way of going, "Hey, now we have an Uncharted game." Because it's what is it? It's, snake eating its tail. You know how like Tomb Raider was Tomb Raider takes off, I guess, Indiana Jones, but Tomb Raider was kind of its big thing on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then Uncharted is maybe even a bigger hit now, and it was a way for Microsoft to go, we need that kind of game, and so now they have it, and good for them. Whatever. It sucks that it's delayed though. So I guess we'll have Street Fighter. So and
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about that one.
Yeah.
I listened to some interviews and a lot of people love to play it. Kind of got me excited for it.
Nice.
Especially now that I know there's going to be like the way they're doing here's new Street Fighter 5, and you can earn credits in the game to purchase the characters, or you can just straight up purchase them, and that's perfect.
Yeah,
It's like
I love that DLC model. I do. It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. It's even better than Mortal Kombat. 'Cause, like Mortal Kombat has the crypt where you can pay $20 and unlock it all, or you can just play and beat stuff, but you also on top of it had the DLC you had to pay for the characters. Where this,
Right.
it's like no, it's all there. You can either earn it, and the most dedicated players are going to do that, or you can just straight up buy it. So that's cool. I'm excited for that. Except for the beta. The beta kind of bombed over the weekend. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it was having some big time issues.
Yeah. So that kind of sucks. But from the people that played it over at Evo, and that was one of the other things. Did you see one of the competitors there? Did you see his failure?
I read about this, but I didn't see it, and I'm
It was
sad.
so cringeworthy. His name is Woosinge or whatever. I can't pronounce it. I'm butchering it. But Evo, if you don't know, it's this huge fighting game competition in Vegas where you can go there and actually bet on them if you want to. But it's this huge, video game fighting tournament, and they have a whole bunch of different games. They Street Fighter 4 is there, Marvel vs. Capcom, a lot of other games that I just don't know about because I'm not really into that scene.
Mortal
I don't know
Kombat, Smash Brothers.
Yep.
I don't know if Killer Instinct's there. I think Killer Instinct is there.
Yeah.
Tekken may still be there.
Okay. I know that
and I-
apparently 4 is going to be gone next year, and 5 is going to be in the main
Well,
show.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's so like that world has a lot of characters and a lot of like people really love these these guys that get up there and they have their own household names in that
Oh yeah.
world.
Oh yeah.
And they're huge, and so I saw apparently he's a really likable guy. He's really loved by the people, and he came in third, but apparently he was playing this game. I don't know what fighting game it was. I didn't recognize it at all, but he won the first round, and he thought that was it. He won. He's first. There was no, that was it. He just won the tournament, and he got up and he prematurely cheered, and he got excited, and he ran around, and then round 2 started, and he got his ass kicked before he could run back to the chair. So he just sat with his head down, and the other guy got up and cheered, and he apparently won. I forgot. I think it was like I don't know how it works. That doesn't make sense. One wins, the other ones you think there'd be 3, but I forgot what happened. But yeah, he lost, and so it was like on ESPN. Like that's when I was like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah.
This made huge news. But yeah, and then I heard about it on a few other podcasts, and I was like, damn, like that's like that sounds exciting. So I went and actually looked a few of the matches, and oh my god, did these people get into it?
Oh,
like
they do. Evo is so much fun to watch, especially like if you get invested. Like watch the finals day.
Yeah.
And it's drama all of its own, and you get so involved in this if you let yourself, and it's awesome. And I'm so bummed that I missed it this year. I want to go back and watch it just to watch it.
Oh, okay. There was a guy, and I don't know his name. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. But there was this podcast I was listening to, and they were talking about this one guy that goes to Evo every year, and he apparently is like kind of like a big wrestling fan, so he likes the persona that he puts on. He plays a character when he's up on stage, and I don't know who it was, but apparently the guy just wore shades the whole time, and he would stand up and he would boo everybody in the audience, and he played this character during his interview, he kind of broke his character, and he was like, every sport needs a heel. Rocky had it. All these things had it. All these characters had, the bad guy, and he was like, that's what I'm being. And so, I thought that was really cool. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, he got up and booed everybody, and he would just do very like disrespectful things in the fighting game. Like he would let them lose by the time. Like he would duck away and not fight. And, yeah, like exactly. And he would just laugh at them with the sunglasses on. And I thought that's cool. Like that's someone really getting into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I saw that there's a few other things with games. Speaking of Square Enix, Dragon Quest 10 and 11, they just showed off. I think it was 11, right? Like they just showed it today.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm not really into Dragon Quest.
I'm not either.
Right, but apparently, it's in consideration for the new Nintendo NX.
Maybe.
Yeah, so they were showing like what it looks like on the 3DS and what it would look like on the new Nintendo and whatnot, and it's apparently one of the new games that they're in consideration for. So that was interesting. Also, like I didn't even know this was a thing. Apparently, China eliminates all restrictions on gaming consoles.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you couldn't buy a PlayStation or Nintendo or Xbox there.
Well, Western civilization kind of thing,
That'd be really weird if, like, Wii U and Xbox just blew up there.
I'm telling you, man. It's
that would be strange if, like, suddenly Nintendo comes from behind and just blows it out.
Dominates Chinese market. Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, let's think about it. We got the Transformers, how big it was there compared to here. It was like, I think it was the third biggest, highest grossing movie in China's history. Like, what? And so, like, you got to think, like, the movie market. Look at Iron Man 3. Didn't they have, like, an entire cut specifically made for China? So, like, it's not too far-fetched to think the video game industry goes, here's an entire population that we're brand new to.
Yeah,
who knows what they're going to like.
1 billion some people.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's a massive market.
Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be interesting, I think. I'm sure Sony and Xbox is probably gonna have a harder time than like Sony and PlayStation, just because it's Asian, Japanese companies. Um, but yeah, dude, I thought that was strange. I had no idea there was a ban. I know that they made like knockoffs that there was no repercussions, but I didn't know they actually couldn't sell those consoles there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it for video games. I couldn't really find anything else. What have you been reading this week?
Oh boy, what did I read? I've been catching up on Secret Wars stuff. I'm pretty well caught up. I did not pick up Archie. I'm sorry. I know. I disappoint.
Yeah.
I bring dishonor on this podcast. I know. Um, but I'm gonna
I
work
didn't
on
watch
that.
Doctor Who, so
It says, see,
Oh,
we're even.
yeah, it's
But
coming. It's coming soon.
but that mostly like comics wise. I've been catching up on Superman. I'm up to 30. What am I? 32. When Romita's run started. I think
Oh,
it's
okay. So
32.
you haven't read Man of Steel at all?
Do what now?
You said you read Superman. Have you read Man of Steel?
Are you talking about Action Comics?
Wait, oh God, I'm such an idiot. Yes, Action Comics. Why did
There
I
we
say
go.
Man of Steel? Jesus Christ, that's
But
not.
I knew what you meant. We're okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, I
I think
haven't been.
actually didn't oh God, who was it? Jim Lee that did he did a Man of Steel comic, right, recently?
Maybe I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
I think it was Snyder and Lee. But yeah, so anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Action Comics. Did you read any Action Comics?
No, I haven't.
Ah, okay. That was see, that's the one I was trying. That was the one where they had like the riots and stuff like that. Or it wasn't really a riot. It was just police brutality and stuff like that.
Yeah, I may catch up with it now that like they're gonna like the new run. I may jump on.
Yeah, apparently they tie right into each other. I guess the
Yeah.
one takes place before the other. I just don't know what order it's in.
Action Comics is first. Action
Oh,
Comics is like a beginning-ish story.
okay, okay.
And then yeah, cuz like Superman is like current continuity-ish. And then Action Comics, cuz Action Comics started with kind of like the Superman year 1-ish kind of story, where it was like where he was just like the shirt and the jeans kind of thing. That was Action Comics, yeah.
He's still in that. I guess he went back to that now.
Well, yeah, because of everything that's happened that I haven't gotten to yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, because that's what I was reading inside. I didn't know if you got to that yet. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, Superman, did you get anything else or?
No, just that and Secret Wars.
So the fourth one's out. When's the fifth one come out?
2 weeks? Because it's not. I know it's not this week,
Okay,
and I don't think it's next week.
August 12th. Yeah, so in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Damn,
Yeah.
they're really spacing these things out.
Yeah. Well, and look at the theme for this week or last week rather is kind of is expanding on the idea of heresy. Because now it's like, when you had this set up, it's like, this is the world and Doom is God. Okay, great.
Yeah.
But by now, we're like 2-3 issues into some of these, and they're almost all coming to a point of like, is he?
Right. Yeah.
like-
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. A lot of these are bleeding into each other. Like,
Yeah.
especially the old man Logan. He's just kind of hopping around.
He is. Like, he's winding up everywhere.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that. He's like, I just want to talk to Doom. Everywhere he
Yeah,
goes.
totally.
He's like, where are you looking for? It's very much like the Old Man Logan series that we read, where he's just like, I want to go speak to the guy in charge, and everyone else in my way is just kind of in my way at this moment.
Exactly.
And I like there's one part where he was like, I think this is a standoff, and he was like, no, actually, this is just me being tired, honestly, and I don't feel like fighting, so can we just kind of can I just take a nap, or whatever he said?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. He was like, look, I'm not trying to, we're not trying to, measure dicks here. Let's just, I just want to relax. I thought that was kind of cool. And then all hell breaks loose, but yeah. Yeah, same here. I've been reading that. I've been catching up on some DC stuff too. There's two things I really enjoyed this week that I read. The Silver Surfer, Have you read any of
I caught the
Dan?
I caught the last issue.
Okay. Have you read the ones before it, or?
No, but like
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to see this like because it was the last days of. So I was like, okay, this will tell me where he wound up,
Ah,
more or less.
okay. Yeah, because it was such a nice. The best way I can explain this Silver Surfer is it's like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
There's so many aliens and creatures that him and Dawn have kind of come across in the last 13 issues. They have, and in a way, this last issue, they touch on all that. I think it's in this one. It's either this one or the one before. I kind of read it all together. But they from issue number one, they kind of go on this adventure. The first few issues they kind of stay near home, and then the most of the later ones, it's all in space. It's all these creatures they come across, all these weird gloop and blorp, and like very, it's an old school way of thinking with comic books where it's not doom and gloom and action. It's like very, little quiet touching moments, and it just puts a lot of humanity in the Silver Surfer. And it was nice to see that for because whenever I think of Silver Surfer, it's always been doom and gloom, and I'm alone, and that's all these issues have kind of been like. It's that story, I guess, of a guy just not feeling really alive until he meets that one girl that's
Yeah.
like, holy shit, like she totally brings life out of him, and it makes him feel, he's not a human, but makes him feel human, like he knows what it's like now to be like that. And then kind of towards the end of the run, it's not that big of a spoiler, but he runs into a planet full of people that survived the planets that he had Galactus destroy. So you have this aspect of everything's going great, and like any great romantic comedy, oh shit, all my dirt is on the table now, and how does she react to that, and how do I react to that? And there's a lot of fun issues in there, and and then towards the very end, the end of days, it's just this, him and her, they need to go home, but they're taking the scenic route. They're running into people from their past, and they're running into, they're running into just all these characters that you've seen in the last few issues, and then it goes into. It goes into, it ties right into Secret Wars, and it actually has like I think a really cool tie-in. I don't know if you thought so or not, but it has a really cool, like, to me it's kind of setting up what's going to happen after Secret Wars and how some people survive.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, like you actually see characters that take place in an event after Secret Wars. And I don't want to spoil or anything. That's all I'll say about that. But you can tell that he somehow plays a role in it. You get to see, I think, a little bit more behind the scenes than what we've seen in a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah.
The others, Secret War tie-in, end of days stuff. This one, it's because if you podcast back, if you're listening, I actually said where's the Silver Surfer? He's nowhere to be found.
That was why I wanted to pick this one up, because I was like, this is a character that like you kind of. It's not just somebody of like, oh, where's this? Where did this? No, this one is big. So I was like, okay, this is gonna set up what happens, and it'll at least give me a clue or something, and then it's like, okay.
Yeah, there's this, and I mean, you didn't read the ones before. I'm pretty sure you understand kind of what's going on, but there's a lot of the space that he's in and the people that he's talking to, and the things that exist in this that are touched on in the previous, Dan Slott clearly had some idea about this before he even went into the Silver Surfer comic.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I can only hope and pray that this series will be picked up, and it'll be one of the ones that just wasn't announced yet. but it continues on because, man, like, has it ever made me even bigger Silver Surfer fan? Because it made him an actual character. And so, yeah, I implore you, if you got the money and time, go pick up 1 through 12, because it's really fun. It's the ones that I saved, and I did the last 3 or 4 together, but before that, it was the ones that I got and I saved to the very last comic that I got that week because it was just fun, and it didn't leave me with this, Jonathan Hickman, like, what's going on, kind of thought, or like doom and gloom. And it was like they were all kind of one and done, not one and done, but they were they were fun little stories that all tied in together. Like, they all had one, and that's the thing. I forget if it was 13. Did he stop at a lot of places in 13, or was it the one before?
I think it was the one before, because this one was kind of, we've got to get back now.
Oh, okay, then, all right. So the one before is the one I'm actually talking about. Then, where, like, there was an issue before. It must be number 12, where he visits all these characters that you've seen throughout the series for 12 issues or 11 issues or whatever. Which, it's been 11 months. It's not a bi-weekly series, so, like, it's been like a year's worth of these characters, and, like, it's just funny to see. For example, there's a whole planet where everyone's job, they're the best at their job in the whole universe. And so, like, they go to the ice cream parlor and it has the best ice cream. They go to this one place and I'm sorry, there's a number 1 and number 2 of everything. Long story short, they stop at the ice cream parlor because they hear that they remember how good the ice cream was, and they get that ice cream for some other guy. What I'm saying doesn't even make sense, so I'll stop. But it's just cute little things where you're like, oh, these characters that I remembered months ago, they're stopping by to see again, and they're saying hi. And I don't know, it reminded me of Doctor Who, because that's very much like Doctor Who, where these quirky characters that he meets in one season pop back into his life, and he's like, oh yeah, you're the guy that made the best ice cream in the universe. It just so happens, hey Dawn, let's eat some ice cream. So I don't know, little stuff like that is really cool. But I don't think I made a good point for it in the last few minutes, because I think
long
I
story short, go read Silver Surfer. It's fun.
Yeah. Exactly. The other one that I read is I got through Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. Have you read any of it?
Early on. Like, I've read like the first 3 or 4.
Okay. It is so good. I think the first volume is like 1 through 5.
Okay.
And, since you've read it, I'm the guy. I guess I'm just kind of speaking just to the audience here. Like, it's a really good story. I don't really want to spoil much. It's not. I think I've talked about it before. Basically, it's this, guy meets girl meets guy. They both kind of have their secret that when they have an orgasm, time freezes. And so, throughout life, when they lose their virginity and they hook up with this person and that person, time stops. And so it's always kind of weird to them. And, she calls it like her quiet zone, where she'll do it and, she wants space from everybody. She'll get a cup of coffee. She'll read a newspaper, and everything's frozen around her. Where he kind of does some wacky, funny stuff when, he goes into a porn shop, and he steals as much porn as he can. He gets out, and then, time goes back, and and then he'll freeze time again and put him back. So, like, anyway, so these two characters meet because they have sex for the first time, and they're still seeing each other and talking to each other after they're both done. So it's like, oh shit, you have this, I have this, and it's just it's a funny. It's really just about two people kind of falling for each other, and they're both Matt Fraction just really knows how to write characters.
Yeah. And
he does a way of making for comic book characters, they have really good chemistry. Like, and that's weird to say, but they really do. These two characters really play off each other really well. And it sounds vulgar, but it is absolutely not vulgar. Like, in any way. Like, this is, they're talking about sex stuff, but we're all adults. Well, maybe kids listen to this, but, for the most part, we're adults, so we get it. Like, this is just what adults talk about. This is what couples really talk about, like, what they're into, and, they just kind of met each other. So that's kind of the coolest part of, a lot of relationships. When you first meet each other and you first find out about each other and you first get to know each other and you find out, crazy stories that they had and you get to tell your stories, and it's that time period that's really cool. And a lot of movies and TV shows touch on that, of course, especially movies. That's every romantic comedy, but this does it in such a really cool way, and it's such a weird medium to do that in too. So I can guarantee you this has already probably been picked up.
It has. Yeah,
it has,
it's going to be a TV show.
Yeah, see, I thought we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Do you know who picks it up at all?
Was it NBC Universal? No.
Yeah, it was Universal. That's right. It was one of the weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Universal, NBC. Let's see. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, it was. So it's been picked up. So yeah. See, I don't know if I'd want it on that. I would want this on HBO or at least AMC, a channel that you're not going to be censored. And you can like I said, it's not vulgar to the point where you can't make this without censoring it.
No, and you can get away with a lot too.
That's true. That's true.
Like this isn't about. It's not really about that. It's about everything else.
Exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's adult, but it's not raunchy. It's not. It's done perfectly, and so, this is something I could hand someone who doesn't read comics and go read this. Just read it. I read best. Just sitting around the house and doing nothing. Wait, what?
Sorry, I made a little kid voice. It made me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, like this. Don't hand it to a child. I'm saying this is something. If my friends were like, because a few friends have I wouldn't read comics because I'm into superhero movies, but I wouldn't read the superhero comic. This is something I could go. It's not all superhero comics. Read this. Just take it. Go take a shit and read or something do whatever you're gonna do, but give it back to me in a week and tell me what you like of it, because it's where Image shines. They shine, and I guess they have what's his name? Oh, I just started reading Invincible, so that's their superhero comic, but this is where Image shines, where it's not really about superpowers or whatever. I guess there's supernatural stuff in it, but it's just a cool, quirky little. It reminds me of it's like if they took a romantic comedy and did this, Well,
it's Image's stuff is about the characters. It's like The Walking Dead is not really about the zombies; it's about the people.
Exactly.
It's that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you nailed it. I could see Bill Hader. What's his name? Bill
Hader. You're right.
Hader. Yeah, I could see him starring in this or something. It's a quirky romantic comedy. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was really good. So that and the Silver Surfer kind of I went deep on those two things this week. So I'll catch up with the Secret War stuff. I'm excited about, and I'm still reading it. It's a lot. It's way more than I thought it was going to be. So there's some that I'm picking up. I just haven't gotten to. There's a lot that I have, especially I love the Old Man Logan and stuff like that. But I'm looking at a stack here that I need to catch up on, and I got some time. I actually have a 3-day weekend this week, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to make any plans and tell everybody I'm busy. That's exactly what I plan on doing. But yeah, man. So I think that's it. I don't think we got any more reviews here.
No.
Probably a little bit lighter show, but that's good. We don't need 3-hour shows every week. Next week, I'm actually probably going to go see Vacation, so I'll talk about that.
Okay.
What was the other one coming out this weekend?
Fantastic Four, isn't it?
Mission Impossible.
Mission. That's it.
Yeah, so I'm going to probably be seeing those two, so we'll have reviews on that next week. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of more movie news. And we didn't get to it this week, and I'll probably talk about it next week. But I went so deep into Destiny again. Holy crap. And it's because I don't want to get into The Witcher. I went and I started playing it, and I was like, this is too much right now. I feel like I just ate dinner and now I'm getting Thanksgiving. 5 minutes later, with Batman and then jumping in that. So I was kind of jumping around. I was like, I wasn't in the mood for, Last of Us. You got to be in a mood for that. I was, and Tomb Raider, I just wasn't. And I was like, oh, Destiny. My buddy Mark was like, hey man, you want to, because I haven't done really any of the expansion stuff. There's been 2 expansions, and so we played the other day, and just time just went right out the window. And it's rare that like it doesn't happen that much anymore, because I'm an adult and I have a bunch of shit I have to do. But it's rare that I get just so sidetracked with time when it comes to that. I was like, oh my god, we've been playing this for hours and I've been having a blast. So that's one game I've just kind of gotten, and it's kind of like an MMO. We've talked about it before. It's got the, like, you got to grind to get gear and armor and all this other stuff, but I'm just having a blast playing it with them. Like, it's a grind, but it never feels like, oh, I got to go do this, I got to do that. It's like just shooting around with your friends, and I suck at first-person shooters, so any sort of competitiveness, like Call of Duty and all those other games, I've sucked at, so I'm like, I can't play this anymore. But with Destiny, it's like you have that PvE. You're going out and you're doing these raids and these missions against the computer AI, and you're doing co-op stuff. So that's where I shine. That's where I like it. So I'll talk about that next week. I don't have to get into it. So, but yeah, man. So until next week. Cap. Oh wait. Yeah, let me go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. Our Twitter account is at We Geek Podcast, and our email is wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. And I think actually the next few weeks, look at our Facebook, might be dropping a logo or 2. So we kind of got that in the works, and yeah, we got some exciting stuff coming up. So keep listening. I'll be posting some more stuff, and until next week, Captain.
Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain.